Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's live stream. Today is February 19th, 2025. And to begin the live stream, I do want to take a look at the economic calendar here for today. So we have FOMC meetings here at FOMC meeting minutes at 2 p.m., which is a red folder news. It's not actually FOMC. I don't think they're going to release the interest rates because we recently just did that actually. So it's not FOMC. It is, let's see here. Here we go. Yeah, so it's not actually FOMC. I'm not entirely too sure what it actually consists of, but yeah, just know that there's going to be volatility injected into the markets at 2 p.m. here. Yeah, besides that, there's not much red folder news here today. Going into the actual charts here, let's see. I don't really have a daily bias. Once the daily candles here kind of show up, once my okay, there's my indicators. So with the way that we closed here yesterday, so based on that daily candle from yesterday, I'm not really anticipating much, right? I can't really give a clear narrative for previous day high to be taken, nor can I give a clear, bias or a reason why I want to see previous day get taken. It's the way that we close here on the daily candle, just very cloudy. It's like a doji candle, right? You can't really tell what the next daily candle wants to do. And coming into this week, we have already completed the weekly objective, right? So we have taken out previous week's high, which for me was the weekly objective. And once we complete a weekly objective here, I no longer can use the weekly candle or the weekly time frame as I can't use it to provide me a bias, right? After we complete this, after we take out this candle's high, now the next weekly candle to me, like it's up to debate, but I do want to see us create an up closed weekly candle. So I mean, we could end up creating an up closed candle, but yeah, like I said, I cannot use the weekly time frame anymore as a way to get a bias. Let me actually do this immediate rebalance here, because if we don't trade back into this blue line, denoted by that IRB, immediate rebalance, if we don't trade back into it, then that means we're going to create a weekly fair value gap. Depending on how we close here during this weekly candle, would tell me if we're going to rebalance the weekly fair value gap if we create one, right? So let's just say that we could end up just consolidating here this upcoming Thursday and Friday, and we create a fair value gap. We create a weekly fair value gap. If we close above this line right here, if we close above this line with this weekly candle, if we close above this blue line, then I would treat the weekly fair value gap as a fair value gap that gets treated as a breakaway gap. But if it closes below this blue line, if this current week's closing price is below this blue line, then I would treat the fair value gap, the weekly fair value gap, as a gap that gets rebalanced. But that's like for I guess later. But for right now, I do want to just watch and see how prices trades, if we even trade down into this immediate rebalance here. And I'm actually going to denote this as weekly IRB. Same thing here on ES. We have already had the weekly immediate rebalance, right? So here, notice how coming into Tuesday, so yesterday, we traded down into previous week's high of the week, right? So that means we completely closed the inefficiency that we could have created. And here yesterday we traded inside this daily fair value gap here on ES, whereas NQ did not. So NQ, we did not trade back inside this daily fair value gap, which is why I have this SMT right here, SMT with the S. So if we are bearish, or if we're bullish, right, this swing low should not be broken. A strong swing low, or I guess a strong swing high slash a strong swing low, will always be accompanied with SMT. So this is the SMT right here. And yeah, so coming into today, I can't use the weekly time frame for a bias, and I can't use the daily time frame as a bias as well, because like I said, the way that we closed here on this daily candle, it's very, like I said, it's cloudy. It's a doji candle. You can't really come up with the clear bias. So what I'm going to elect here is I'm going to use the 4-hour time frame and the 8-hour time frame for some sort of intraday bias, right? So every single candle here, the way that you want to view prices is that every single candle has its own specific objective, right? So like on the weekly time frame, our weekly objective was for us to take out the weekly high. The daily candle here, well, the previous daily candle, we didn't really have a bias, but like this candle, this daily candle, we have an objective, and our objective here on this daily candle is to take out the previous day high. So every single candle, it's fractal, and if you apply the same concept to the 4-hour time frame, the hourly time frame, the monthly time frame, even the yearly time frame, right? Let's check out the yearly time frame, which is the 12-month time frame here, right? If we apply the same concept, what should we be anticipating with the way that we close here on this yearly candle? I'm anticipating for the yearly high to be taken, right? I don't think it's efficient for prices to trade all the way back down into 2023's high of year. So yeah, I do want to see us take out the yearly high. After we take out the yearly high, what happens? Well, the yearly objective has been completed, so I can't use the yearly time frame for a bias anymore, right? But because we haven't completed the objective yet, I can still use it to provide me a almost like a trend, right? Like I can anticipate for prices to take out yearly highs. So I would be bullish coming into this year. But yeah, we have about 18 minutes left until we close here on this 4-hour candle and this 8-hour candle. Once we close on those two time frames, that would provide me with a morning objective, and the morning objective here, like I said, is going to be dependent on how we close here on the 4-hour time frame and the 8-hour time frame. But yeah, it looks like we're just trading back and forth within this like new week opening gap here. We're just kind of like we've basically just consolidated throughout Monday, Tuesday, and then I mean possibly even coming into today as well, because we had a sell-off here yesterday. Once we had that SMT right between NQ and ES, we started to reverse. We started to trade back inside the dealing range, and now we're just like trading between the weekly open, right? We traded up, down, up, down, up, down. So not really prime conditions, but yeah, I mean yearly high is still like is very much still the target here. It's just efficient, like this back and forth price action here on the daily time frame. It's just not, is not that favorable, right? If I were to make this a line chart like this, it looks like a bar, like a barcode, like very, very choppy, and you don't want to be a part of a choppy market. 2-day time frame, with the way that we close here on this 2-day candle, what can I anticipate? I can anticipate for us to treat this 2-day fair value gap as a breakaway gap. So I don't want to see us take out the 2-day low. I want to see us take out the 2-day high here. And let's see if we close here on the 3-day candle. Not yet. So we're about to close on this 3-day candle in about, well, we're going to close in 7 hours or so. 4-day candle. So even on the 4-day candle as well, with the way that we close here on this candle here on the 4-day time frame, I can anticipate for the 4-day high to be taken. So a lot of these time frames here are telling me that we're bullish, right? It's just a matter of when we're going to complete that, and that answer will be, I guess, will be told on the lower time frames, depending on how we close here on, you know, the 4-hour. Are we going to have displacement or are we not? So we'll see. About 15 minutes left until we open here. I'm gonna hop into a chess match, and then yeah. He could go. Oh, he's not gonna go here. Okay, I'm gonna go here. So he's gonna prevent me from going to this square, which is cool. It's cool. Attack this. So yeah, he's preventing me from going there. Can I attack the center? I kind of want to prevent this here from happening, so I'm gonna go there, and then I'm gonna attack. Okay, trade this. I'm gonna go here, and if he takes, I take with my knight, attacking his queen. Okay, I'm gonna attack his queen here. I'll bring up this pawn. So he's probably gonna castle this way, which is reasonable because I'm probably gonna do that as well. So here we have a little mini fortress. Playing pretty well. I'm gonna move my bishop here, and then I'm gonna castle as well. This pawn now becomes a weakness, so let's see how he's going to protect that. Is he going to bring up this pawn? If he doesn't, I can just, it's a free pawn. Alright, so he moves his queen to protect. I'm going to, can I, I really do want to see how he's going to protect this. Okay, so he moves his pawn. Interesting. So now, I think it would be wise for me to just castle this way, because I don't want to castle into this queen here, but I can just hold the castle, right? Do I have to force the castle? I'm gonna castle this way, actually. Oh, but this now becomes a... Oh. Interesting. So now this also becomes a weakness as well. Shibai. Oh, my bishop's hanging. Boys, I think we lost. Not gonna lie, I think we lost. Bro, that was... I think I had a pretty good position there. I kind of screwed it up. Walking fast. If he takes here, I can just take this. Alright, I'm gonna go here. Wondering if I could fly into the sky. I'm gonna threaten this. Okay. Now there's gotta be more that I can do, right? If I go here, he's just gonna go here, which kind of sucks, because I can't really do much. Walking fast. No. Can I go here? Wait, he just take is it GG's? Oh, bro, is it GG's? He goes here, I go here. Fuck. Oh my gosh, nice. Just gonna spam check. No way he's just gonna spam check, right? I have mate right here. Oh, he can just go here. Oh, brother. Oh my gosh. You can't. Here? Yes, here now. 53. Oh my goodness. Dude, he can just freaking go back and forth. Oh my gosh. Oh, he's screwed. Wow, what a... Oh my gosh, I was down 11 at one point. Wow, wow. Dude. Hold on. Okay, I actually had a decent position here. It was pretty much even. That would castling this way work? It would have worked. I mean, I didn't really need a castle here. Could I have done this? That could have worked as well. Well, you live and you learn. Alright, about 5 minutes left until we close here on the 4-hour candle and the 8-hour candle. Both time frames still suggesting, well, actually the 8-hour candle is a little bit more bearish in comparison to the 4-hour. But yeah, I mean, so notice how this 8-hour candle is suggesting lower prices, right? If we were to close, like, with the way that we close here on this 8-hour candle, I can assume and I can anticipate for prices to take out the 8-hour candle's low. But this hourly candle isn't exactly suggesting lower prices, right? It's not aligned with the 8-hour time frame. Hả? Chừng nào con đi rảnh á hả?
Có nghĩa là break time rồi đó.
Mai cần đi đâu?
Không, gọi lên chỗ cái nước ở CD nước á, nó cắt nước nhà mình á, ba phây tiền mà nó không có rút tiền 2 tháng liền luôn, nên là nó nói là ngày mai là ngày hôm nay là last day, nó cho xài nước nó không nhận được tiền, nó cắt nước. Bây giờ mình gọi lên mình trả nó trên phone luôn, nó đọc cái thẻ cho nó để nó rút tiền đi.
Vậy thì người ta tại sao người ta làm đó?
Nó không nhận được tiền, nó cắt phone, nó cắt nước về.
Ba không trả tiền đó hả?
Ba ký mà nó không rút được tiền. Ba ký mà cái check mail nó đi đâu á?
Mà ba mail nó ở đâu?
Ba gửi đi thùng thư đó mà nó không nhận đi được. Nó không biết nó đi Đà Lạt đi đâu rồi, nó không nhận được tiền. Bây giờ gọi lên cho nó trả nó trực tiếp ở trên phone, nói là mình có ký trả tháng trước tới tháng này luôn là 2 cái mà nó không có rút tiền ở trong nhà băng của mình. Rồi bây giờ mình trả cho nó thẻ credit card của má đó.
Năm nay không bao giờ hả?
Bây giờ má gọi được, tí xíu nó đi mất rồi.
Năm nay đang đâu?
Nó đi làm rồi. Còn không về mẹ gọi.
Má đưa cho con đi. Má, cái phone còn... Phone... Okay. Gonna have to pivot here. So, I'll stay on the stream here in about, what, like 2 minutes until we close here on this 8-hour candle. And then we'll see what we'll do here. So, like I said, 8-hour candle. So, 8-hour candle suggesting lower prices. The 4-hour candle also suggesting lower prices. I do want to see how we close here on this hourly candle. Depending on how we close here on this hourly candle.
tiền không mấy là tháng này.
Alright, sorry about that. I am now back. So, to take a look at what just happened. So, like I said, my morning objective coming into today was based off of how we closed here on this 8-hour candle and this 4-hour candle, right? And one thing to note here is that the 4-hour candle, the 8-hour candle's low, they were the exact same low here as this hourly candle, right? So the hourly low is the same low as the 4-hour low and the 8-hour low, which means the 4-hour objective and the 8-hour objective should be completed within the next hour. This idea is called scoping, and scoping allows you to understand it allows you to understand when a certain objective should be completed, right? So now that we have completed the weekly, or not the weekly objective, but the 4-hour objective and the 8-hour objective, I no longer have a morning objective, right? Or a morning bias. So, I mean, there's not much else for me to do here. And I do want to go over some of the pros and cons here with you guys. So, some of the pros and cons, what can I continue to work on? What can I work on, and what should I continue to do? So, here, well, first off, I do want to take a look at some trades here. I want to cover at least one trade to review with you guys. So I'll do this one, or actually this one's a little bit. It's not complicated, but I'll do this one. So coming into this specific day, right? February 13th, 2025. The daily objective here was for us to take out the daily high, right? So notice how we close here on this daily candle right here. The way that we closed, it's a bullish closure. I can anticipate for us to take out, the daily high. So once we take out the daily high, we have essentially completed the daily objective. So once we complete the daily objective, I can no longer use the daily candle for a bias anymore. So it's like rinse and repeat. These concepts are applying, or like here or present every single day, right? So because we completed the daily objective, I can't use the daily candle anymore for some sort of bias. So now that I know that, I can use the intraday time frames, such as the 4-hour time frame, the 6-hour time frame, the 8-hour time frame, or the 10-hour time frame, to give me a intraday bias, right? So the same thing that I did today, right, where I didn't use the daily candle as, I guess, I didn't use it to provide me a bias, but instead I went onto the intraday time frames and I used the 4-hour and the 8-hour time frame to give me some sort of bias. So in this trade here, I base my trade here based off of how we closed here on this 4-hour candle. So the way that we close here on this 4-hour candle, I can anticipate for us to take out the 4-hour high, right? So the 4-hour high now for me is, or the higher time frame objective is for us to take out this 4-hour high. So for me to align myself with this, I guess, the higher time frame objective, I go onto the hourly time frame, the 30-minute time frame, and the 15-minute time frame, and I notice. So the 4-hour high here is the exact same high as the hourly high and the 30-minute high. So referring back to the idea of scope, right? If the 30-minute high, if the 30-minute high is the same high as the 4-hour high, we should complete the 4-hour objective within the next 30 minutes, right? So now I'm starting to piece everything together. The lower time frame model, which is the 30-minute time frame in this case, or I'm sorry, the higher time frame objective or order flow here is based on the 30-minute time frame / 4-hour time frame. It's suggesting higher prices. So for me to align myself with the higher time frame order flow, I go onto the 15-minute time frame.
Ăn bún bò Huế mẹ ăn chưa?
Dạ con ăn chút xíu thôi, con không có ăn nhiều đâu. Con ăn bây giờ được. So with the way that we close here on this 15-minute candle, it's suggesting, bullish, right? It's suggesting to me that we're most likely going to take out this 15-minute candle's high. So now the 15-minute time frame is bullish. The 30-minute time frame, which is my higher time frame objective, my higher time frame order flow, is bullish. So they are in alignment with each other. And the whole idea of this specific trade is that we should take out the 15-minute high, and once we complete that objective on the 15-minute time frame, we should expand towards the 30-minute high, because the 30-minute candle is also suggesting higher prices, right? And notice how there are two different highs here. The 15-minute high is completely separate from the 30-minute high, and that is the core principle of the expansion model, right? We should expand towards the 30-minute objective or the higher time frame order flow after we complete the model's objective, and in this case it is the 15-minute time frame. So now that I have a higher time frame objective, I have a model, I have to find some sort of entry pattern. And my entry pattern is always going to be on the lower time frames relative to my model. So in this specific trade, my model is on the 15-minute time frame. So my entry pattern should be on the 5-minute time frame, the 4-minute time frame, the 3-minute time frame, the 2-minute time frame, or the 1-minute time frame. Right? That's relative. It's proportional. I'm going from page 1 to page 2. And whenever I started to, I guess, implement this strategy, I didn't really understand time frame alignment. And what I mean by that is, let's say my model here was on the 4-hour time frame. Let's just hypothetical scenario. If my model's on the 4-hour time frame, I should use like a hourly fair value gap. I should use like a 30-minute or 15-minute fair value gap. I can't go from the 4-hour time frame straight onto the 1-minute time frame. So I cannot go from the 4-hour model straight onto the 1-minute model, right? That's essentially the same thing as reading page 1 and skipping all the way to page 15. You're missing a lot of information from that page 1 to page 15, right? So the way to approach this is to take it one time frame at a time, right? So here in this specific trade, I went from the 15-minute time frame onto the 1-minute time frame. So, or not the 1-minute time frame, I go onto the 15-minute model and I go onto the sub 5-minute time frames, which could be the 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So in this specific trade, I notice, hey, there's a 2-minute fair value gap here, right? And this 2-minute fair value gap is better known as a BISI, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. A BISI supports higher prices. And the way that we close here on this 2-minute fair value gap suggests to me that we should respect this inefficiency to continue higher, to attack the 15-minute high and the 30-minute high. But it is also a fair value gap that could be rebalanced, meaning this fair value gap should be treated as a gap that gets traded into and then respected to continue higher. There are going to be times where prices create a a bullish fair value gap, a BISI, but it should be treated as a breakaway gap. But in this case, it's a gap that could be rebalanced and should be respected, right? So once prices trades into this 2-minute fair value gap, which we barely do here in this case, we barely traded into it. We traded into the 2-minute fair value gap. We take out the 15-minute high. And like I said, the expansive characteristic of this model is that once we complete that 15-minute objective, we should continue to expand higher towards the 30-minute objective. And the 30-minute objective, which is the same objective as the 4-hour time frame. And like I said, that concept is called scope. So, I mean, this trade here, very, very simple. I mean, there are certain things that I look for, and if they aren't present, I'm not going to take a trade. And it's a pretty good segue onto the pros and cons here for this upcoming week. So what I should continue to do this week, I should be able to take consistent models, right? Every single trade that I take this week, I should be able to identify what my higher time frame objective is. I should be able to have a model that aligns myself with the higher time frame order flow, and I should have an entry pattern. So those three things, those three components are a necessity in my strategy. I should be able to identify that every single time I take a trade, and it makes it so where the approach that I have is consistent, right? If someone were to ask me, hey dude, why did you take this trade here? Well, I'm going to tell them my higher time frame objective, I'm going to tell them my model, and I'm going to tell them the reason why how I'm able to enter it, which is my entry pattern, right? And I should always be able to execute whenever my strategy is present. This strategy isn't foolproof, right? There are going to be times where I take losses. And like last week, there was a time where I took a loss. Like on this specific trade here, which I think I went over here on my YouTube channel, I took a loss. That's completely fine. As long as I'm able to execute my strategy whenever it presents itself, that's all that I care about, right? It's about how I execute, and it's about how I manage my risk and how I manage my emotions whenever I am in a trade. That's the only thing that should concern me. I'm not concerned about whether the trade is going to pan out or not, right? The only thing that I'm in control of is whether or not I execute and how I execute. There's this quote that I came across last week, and it's basically, if you know how to make $10, then don't be afraid to risk it to make 20. Because if you know how to make $10 and you lose it, that's completely fine. If you know the foundation of how to make money, and it's easy for you, right? So it's like you can never be stripped of like your knowledge. That's like kind of what how I'm interpreting this quote here, right? Your knowledge is what makes you the money. The quantity, the value isn't something that should be important to you, right? It's actually what do you offer that allows you to make that $10. And if you know how to make $10, then don't be afraid to make 20. It's the And third thing here, có nhớ rồi. Third here is to continue to stay patient. There are times where my strategy doesn't present itself like in days, maybe even weeks, right? There are going to be times where I know what the higher time frame objective is, and I know where prices wants to go on the higher time frame, but I'm missing a model. I'm missing an entry pattern. If I have one component out of 3, I'm not going to take the trade. Even if I have 2.5 out of 3, I'm not going to take the trade. It has to be 3. And that just falls back to me, like I said, being disciplined and being consistent. Some things that I can continue to work on here is to be mindful to be constantly aware of my thoughts and my actions, and this goes way past trading. This is like a lifestyle of mine, and it's just something that I really, really want to, like, this is how I want to like approach life, right? Is to have my core values, my goals always in my mind, and that my thoughts and my actions should always be in alignment with those values and goals that I have in mind, right? And one thing that I'm doing to make it, I wouldn't say easier, but to make it, to keep myself more aware, is that I have a vision board right in front of me, and I'm looking at it right now, right? I have pictures of what I want to do. I have pictures of what I want to accomplish and some of the things that mean the most to me, right? What are my values? So I have a picture of my family, my friends, and a whole bunch of stuff that means to me. Well, it means a lot to me, right? Second, to be confident, speak clearly and effectively. That's something that I need to work on, right? As an aspiring investment banker, the way that I communicate my idea, the way that I convey my message should be effective, right? It should be very clear. The person that's receiving my message should be able to understand me in a way where, hey, I know what this dude is trying to say, and the way that he's saying it is in a very confident, in a very disciplined manner. And I believe that if I'm going to be a disciplined trader, I should also be a disciplined human in general, right? I cannot be a disciplined trader and not be a disciplined person in general. There's no correlation, right? There has to be some sort of alignment here. And yeah, that's just some things that I need to continue to work on. And so to wrap things up, some of the improvements here for this week: take consistent models. Like I said, every single trade that I take, I should be able to identify what the higher time frame objective is. I should be able to align myself with that higher time frame order flow with my model, and I should have a entry pattern. Those three components, like I said, should always, 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 always be identifiable in a trade that I take. And if prices isn't presenting me with my strategy, be patient. Sit on your hands. It's okay to sit and speculate. That's completely fine. Do other things that might not be trading related, right? Whether that be studying for school, working on your business, whatever that may be. If your strategy isn't present in the markets, walk away. It's very simple. Second, keeping in mind, this quote here is, if you know how to make $10, don't be afraid to make 20. And I'm going to third, watch for SMT. SMT is almost like a price action indicator that shows you where manipulation has occurred between the markets, whether that be with NQ, ES, YM. SMT allows you to understand where manipulation has occurred. Dạ, dạ. Dạ, con biết rồi, con nhìn thấy đó nếu con mang em bé Peter Disco mà. And last thing here, aggressive trading. So that pretty much sums it up for this live stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, I will see you guys later.